This is the morning briefing. This is for Thursday, the 16th of February. I'm James Spann. Alabama's weather will be very active today. The long anticipated event is here. This thing was advertised 7 days ago by the Storm Prediction Center, and it's go time, if you will. We have the chance of strong to severe storms across the state later this afternoon and tonight, so we'll try and answer all of your questions. Let's look at the upper air conditions first off early this morning. And it's pretty much the same setup we've seen for a while. There's a large upper high that's over the Gulf of Mexico and a trough lifting out of the southwestern states. A positive tilt trough, not a negative tilt, and that's a good thing. Oftentimes the more significant severe weather events here are in association with a negative tilt trough, but understand the dynamics are still fairly impressive today. Now, we're live early this morning about 5:30, and things are quiet across Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia. We've got some rain falling over Tennessee and parts of Arkansas, but nothing severe, and the main action, if you will be this afternoon and tonight. It's a very mild, muggy morning. We've got temperatures mostly in the 60s across the state. In fact, it's 70 at Mobile. Highs today will be in the mid to upper 70s in most locations, adding to the instability. So we've had a tornado watch in effect overnight for parts of West Tennessee and North and West Mississippi. That has expired, and that is off the board now. We note back in the cold air sector, we have the chance of snow from parts of Kansas up into parts of Iowa and Illinois. Those are winter storm warnings there, the counties in pink. So this is the severe weather outlook for today. We have an enhanced risk from Alabama and Mississippi up through parts of Tennessee and Kentucky up to the Ohio River. In Alabama, the enhanced risk, and again, this is level 3 out of 5. We have 5 levels of risk. This is level 3. It's for areas west of a line from near Scottsboro down to Pell City, Selma, and Jackson. And again, that's the area in orange on that map. Much of the rest of the state in a level 2 out of 5, slight risk of severe storms. And the southeastern corner of the state from Opelika down to Eufaula and Dothan, that's a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk. So this is the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes later today. And you can see that we have this hatched area over parts of central and west Alabama. That's where the main chance of tornado activity will be. There could be an isolated tornado on the eastern side of the state, but the better chance of tornadoes today, basically from I-65 west. And when you see the hatched area on those SPC maps, that means there could be a strong tornado or two, and by definition, that is EF2 or higher. But again, we stress all of the state has some risk of severe weather through tonight. And let me take my box off here, and you can see the probabilities in the lower right. And again, I'm sorry, that's the, let me go back to the tornado outlook here. So the chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point in West Alabama is 10 to 14%. And that sounds low, and it is low. But understand tornadoes are small. And even on a big severe weather day, the odds of any one spot being hit by a tornado will be small. But 10 to 14%, that's very significant. So just be aware that we could see a few tornadoes later today. And yes, we have the chance of damaging straight line winds. This is the probabilistic outlook for damaging winds within storms, and those chances are higher. And again, this is within 25 miles of a given point, 30 to 44% over the central and western part of the state in the enhanced risk area. And again, we'll talk much more about the timing and what to expect as we go through modeling here in just a second. This is tomorrow, no severe thunderstorms expected. And then on day 3, which is Saturday, not a single thunderstorm expected across the country. So this is the rain for the next 7 days, and the numbers are coming up, and we do think we could easily see today, with today's event, rain amounts between 1 and 2 inches with isolated heavier totals for the northern part of the state. At the moment, there's no flash flood watch, but with some cells going over the same areas, there could be some flooding issues later tonight, so keep that in mind. So model fans, here we go. This is the GFS. This is the 06Z run, valid today at 4. And again, you can see that positive tilt trough off to the west. The surface low is near Indianapolis at 1,004 millibars. And typically for a really high-end day here, in terms of severe weather, you'd want to see that more over towards St. Louis. But still, the surface conditions favor strong to severe storms. So let's go right to the high-resolution modeling. This is the HRRR. The high-resolution rapid refresh, HRRR, valid today at 2 o'clock. And you can see that it looks like there could be some of these discrete cells, not necessarily in a line. They're out there by themselves by early afternoon over West Alabama. And if these can get going, and there's a capping inversion, if the cap can break and those storms can get going, they certainly could be pretty rough with a chance of hail, strong winds, and tornadoes. This is the instability, the buoyancy, and this is one of the ingredients you need for severe weather. And those numbers have been coming up, and they're certainly sufficient for severe storms. The surface-based CAPE values, and CAPE is convective available potential energy, between 1,000 and 2,000 joules per kilogram. So the air will be quite unstable this afternoon. Now, these values are not really overwhelming. This is the storm relative helicity, the veering of the wind with altitude in relation to storm motion. And, for a big tornado day, you'd like to see the numbers higher than that. But again, it's sufficient for tornadoes, no doubt about that. And this is the STP, and again, this is getting a lot of play. And understand, this is simply a composite index. It is a tool in the toolbox when you're looking at forecasting a severe weather day. But you can see we've got elevated STP numbers over the western half of the state at 2 o'clock, which lends to the concept of a few storms possibly producing tornadoes. In terms of the timing, made a few little adjustments here for areas north and west of Birmingham. The broad window for severe storms today will come from noon until 8 o'clock. For Birmingham, it points south and east, the window between 3 and 11 p.m. And then for areas south and east of Montgomery, the window between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. after midnight. So, again, that's when things will be active. And if you watch these videos, you're probably a weather nerd, dweeb, weenie, and you're totally tuned into this. But, again, a large percentage of the population, they're not. And that's totally understandable. But, again, you can help us out today by letting your friends and relatives know it could be an active day. And again, I want to stress, these days are common this time of the year. In fact, on this date in 1995, had a really rough upper-end EF3 tornado or F3 tornado that went through the communities of Joppa and Arab in Cullman and Marshall counties during the pre-dawn hours, about 5 o'clock. And the death toll was 6. The damage was horrible. 130 people were injured. And that's just one example. I could give you hundreds of examples of tornado days in February here. So these type days are common, but we just simply have to pay attention, and we'll get through the day just fine. And we'll talk about some things you need to be doing before we go here. So again, that's today. Let's go to tomorrow. Clearing, colder. Probably start the day with morning clouds. We'll see afternoon sunshine. 40s north of Birmingham. 50s for the rest of the state. This is Saturday. We start the day down in the 20s. Going to be cold, but the day will be sunny. The high Saturday will be mostly in the 50s. And Sunday will be a sunny day. We start the day in the 30s. The high Sunday will be in the 60s. We start to bounce back. And next week, this is Monday, that looks dry, will be in the low 70s. And if you like warm weather, I think you'll like next week. This is Tuesday, and the global models have been struggling with the precipitation. At this point, Tuesday looks dry with a better chance of showers north of the state, and we'll be in the mid to upper 70s. And this is Wednesday, the latest guidance coming in dry. We have seen other runs that had showers on Wednesday, and we're going to leave showers in for now. But we could easily see the big 80, 80 degrees, warmest weather so far this year. And this is a week from today, and that persistent upper high over Miami and Fort Myers and Key West, that is keeping most of the really active weather next week to the north. And again, this is suggesting there might be a few showers Thursday of next week, but probably not many. Let's go out 10 days. This is Saturday, that following weekend. And again, you can see the upper high persist over the Gulf of Mexico. And again, that just looks fairly quiet. So at the moment, next week looking unseasonably warm and maybe a shower or two along the way, but probably not much rain. So this is rain for Birmingham off the European ensemble. The mean is about 3 inches between now and the 2nd of March. A lot of that could come down today and tonight. And temperatures, now this is for Birmingham, coming off the national Blenda models. Your number could vary. 76 today, 49 tomorrow. That'll be a big drop. And again, we'll be in the 20s Saturday morning. But look at the bounce back. In fact, by Wednesday and Thursday of next week, 80. And if you're in South Alabama, be warmer than that. So spring fans, you got to like that. And this is the latest 8 to 14 day guidance in the house. This is for the 23rd of February through the 1st of March. And again, with the upper high over the Gulf Coast region, temperatures will likely be above average here, with below average temperatures for the western and northern states. But hey, I caution you, you know we have some pretty wicked cold snaps here in March and sometimes early April. And we've had big snows here in March and early April. So don't think winter's over yet, but it certainly does look pretty warm there for the end of the month. So one more time for those that are joining us live, this is the big picture for today, the severe weather outlook. We have an enhanced risk. That's level 3 out of 5 for the areas in orange on that map. Much of central and west Alabama. This would include Birmingham, Huntsville, the Shoals, Cullman, Tuscaloosa, Clanton, Selma, Demopolis. And the higher tornado probabilities are over the western half of the state. East Alabama, there could be an isolated tornado, but it's not especially likely there. And the window will open up about noon for areas near the Mississippi state line, and the severe weather risk will be progressing eastward through the day. And I think you know the drill, but again, if you're by chance you're new here, this is what you need. This is the baseline for getting warnings. That is a weather radio. And I know you got a fancy Pixel iPhone, Pro Max Plus, whatever, and you think it always goes off. Well, it doesn't. During a tornado emergency, sometimes the first thing that stops working is your cell service. So again, everybody needs that weather radio to get the warnings. And yes, on your cell phone, be sure that you've got emergency alerts enabled. And in your safe place, don't forget you're going to have helmets for everybody. That's a big deal. Most people that are seriously injured in tornadoes, it is blunt force trauma from the shoulder region up. And that really, really, really mitigates the chance of being seriously injured or killed in a tornado. An inexpensive bicycle helmet is perfect. And also in your safe place, we like for people to have portable air horns in case you can't vocalize your need for help. You can squeeze that. First responders can find you. And hard-sole shoes. If you have to walk over a tornado debris field, you don't want to do that in tennis shoes or socks or barefooted. You just don't want to do that. And again, one of the biggest challenge we have, it's for those that live in mobile homes. Mobile homes are wonderful, affordable housing. But you can't stay there if you're in a tornado warning polygon. And you need to know the location of the nearest shelter, or maybe a business that's open that can provide shelter, and know how to get there quickly, and always have transportation arranged on a day like today in case you need to leave. And we've had plenty of time on this day here, so just be aware of that. And again, we'll get through the day together just fine. So that's it for the morning briefing. We'll have notes on the blog, AlabamaWX.com. And I don't think I'll be able to do one of these this afternoon because we'll probably be in severe weather coverage. But if we can, I will. And don't forget to join us this evening on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. And notes on the blog, AlabamaWX.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay safe, and God bless.